Hey everyone, I'm back and I'm going to be doing something that I've already done before. Actually, I did it in one of my very first videos and it was called Bread Glorious Bread. I'm making my mom's bread recipe. It's called no knead refrigerator bread because you don't have to knead it. It's just, you mix it in the bowl. I've adapted it to my trusty mixer here and so in doing so, I kind of took her recipe, I looked up different ways to make bread online and kind of married the two so that I could bring it forward to 2020. Well, I've been making this for a long time, but I've been making it in a mixer for probably 4 or 5 years now. So the way we're going to, and when I did that, I did it in 3 videos. So I'm going to try very hard to get this in one video. I may have the finished product in a separate still shot, but at least I will try to show you the bread rising and all that stuff. First, we're going to start by taking active dry yeast, and that's an Aldi product, and it's 2 packages, and that's going to go into the bottom of our mixing bowl. Or if you use this kind in a jar, which is fine too, you can use 4½ teaspoons of that. I will put that in the recipe section in the bottom comment section, so you can use one or the other. If you do use this stuff in the jar, once you open the jar, make sure you put it in the refrigerator. Well, did I not? I guess I didn't get this down too far. You put it in the refrigerator once you open it until you use it up. So, okay. So to that, I'm going to add 2 cups of water. But now this is the important part. The water has to be, let's see if I'm there. The water, it's tap water. I don't boil it or put it in the microwave or anything. But it really needs to be between right around 110 degrees is the truth. And so I use this little instant thermometer. And it reads and gives me my reading. So if you have it at 90 degrees, it's just not warm enough to activate the yeast. And if you have it at 120, 130, if it's too hot, then it kills the yeast. So yeast is a very funny and particular thing. So you're going to add the lukewarm is what. Now I can promise you this too. My mama didn't have an instant read thermometer. So she just went with lukewarm. So there you have it. Once I put it in the bowl here, I do take a whisk and kind of move it around just to make sure that it's all covered with the warm water. That's the first thing I do. And then the next thing I do is I measure out my flour, because it usually takes about as much time, because this is going to take about 5 minutes to bloom. And I will show you when it starts happening, because it kind of makes little explosions, little mini explosions. I doubt I can get that on camera, but I will try. Anyway, so the next thing I do is I measure out my flour. I'm using bread flour. Don't have to. I happen to have it. If I have it, I use it. Again, my mom didn't use it because it wasn't invented when she started doing this. This recipe's got to be at least 50 years old. So I have in here already measured out 6 cups. And if I'm going to measure something, I have to show you, just in case there's someone new. I'm sorry if you're tired of seeing this, but in case somebody hasn't seen it before, bear with us. What I want you to do when you're measuring flour is take a spoon or something else and use a light hand when you're putting it into your dry measuring cup. This is a dry measuring cup. This is a liquid measuring cup. It makes a difference when you measure. So if you could use, the appropriate measuring device, it really, people may not think, but it does make a difference when you're baking. Not so much when you're cooking. So then what I want you to do is heap it up over the top like that, and then tap it a couple of times on the side with the flat edge of your knife, and then rake it back and forth until you get it nice and level. I don't want you to push it or try to settle it in there. We're not trying to pack it. We're just trying to fill in the air bubbles, in the air holes that it has. Okay, so that is 7 cups of flour. It does call for 1 egg. So we can get ready and put the egg in here. And you know the drill on the eggs. Always crack it in something aside from the bowl you're mixing in, just in case you get a shell or a bloody egg of some sort. So, and then it's also going to call for a 1/4 cup of Crisco. And, well, I was leaving that out so I could show you. I buy my Crisco. Really, what did I do with that? Maybe I put it away. I buy my Crisco in the sticks, and then it's, you know, marked off for you, and that's a 1/4 cup, and I just whack it off and then put it back in the thing, and of course, you know, it's Crisco. It stays forever. And you can tell it's an old recipe because it's calling for Crisco. But you know what? It makes it great, so I don't question it. So what I do is take it out of this foil, and I chop it up a little bit because I'm going to put it in here, but rather than to just put this big lump in there and let it mix in, it just to me it just helps make it incorporate into the dough a little easier. So I kind of just chop it up, and that to me is just kind of I mean, it doesn't say that anywhere in the recipe. It's just what I do. So I will put it in the recipe because I really do think it really does help blend it in good. So there we go. That's all ready when we're ready for it. And then it calls for a 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm sorry, a 1/2 cup of sugar. So here's my 1/2 cup, and with sugar, it doesn't really make any difference because you're not going to pack sugar, white sugar that is, granulated. So you can scoop in there with it, but there again, you want to level it off. So take the back side of a knife and level it off. So you've got a nice even scoop. So that'll be ready when we're ready for it. And we are proofing here. I wonder if it's possible for me to get you in there so you can see. Let's just see. Let's just see. I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see it? Well, aside from the fact that I probably am making you sick by carrying you all over the kitchen, maybe you could see it. But it takes about 5 minutes for it to proof, actually. And so we're getting there. I'm going to let it go for just another couple of minutes. I won't make you wait with me. All my little things went here. But anyway, I'm not going to make you wait with me. And I will be right back when we're ready to move to the next step. Okay, I think we're proofed, and I think we're ready to go to the next step, and that is we are going to add the sugar, which is, if you'll remember, it's a 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, and we're going to add the salt, which is 2 teaspoons of salt. So in that goes, and I'm going to use my whisk again and just kind of mix that up just a little bit, just to get it started, just because it's at the bottom. There we go. Ooh, it smells good and yeasty. Okay, and now it says to add about 1/2 of the flour. And this, I mean, about 1/2. So you don't have to measure anything, just about 1/2 of what you got in here. So, and if you will notice, I don't have a paddle attachment in here now because it's easier to work around it when I'm putting this first load of flour in. But I am going to use my paddle attachment instead of my dough hook initially because this is kind of more liquidy. I'm going to add this, and like I said, it's about 1/2 the flour. And I'm going to beat it for 2 minutes. I'm going to set my timer for 2 minutes. It makes a difference in how it releases the gluten's in the flour. That's what I've read. Don't know if it's true, but that's everything I've read. So I'm going to let this go for 2 minutes, and I will be back to you. Okay, the 2 minutes is up. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the egg, which we cracked already. Put that in here. And the shortening, which we chunked up already. So here's the egg. And the shortening. And once this gets in there and kind of mixed in, well, is when, before I put the next, oh, for goodness sakes, before I put the next, the last half of the flour in here, I will change to the dough hook. But this, as you can see, it's still pretty creamy in there. And if we had the dough hook in there, it would just take, it would take a minute. And I'm all about getting things done quickly. Okay, looks good to me. So I'm gonna switch this out. Of course, I gotta get all this stuff off of here, you know that. Good enough. But before I put the dough hook on, because it's easier to fill, that's the only reason, I'm gonna put the rest of this flour in here. And up we go. Get that off the side. And on we go. And so, once this gets incorporated, which I'll show you what I mean by that, but once this gets incorporated into that, then I will set a timer and let it go for 7 minutes. And that is the time that, you know, and it's not in my mom's recipe, but after, when I was trying to adapt it to the mixer, I read just a bunch of different bread recipes, and the one thing they all had in common when they were doing it in the mixer was letting it beat with the dough hook for 7 minutes. So that's what I've done since that, and they've come out beautifully and perfect every time. So that's what I did. It's starting to get to where it's coming together. See if I can get you down here closer without making too much racket. I want you to see it coming off the sides. And now it's pretty much, you see that it's all coming off the sides. So now I'm going to set my timer for 7 minutes. I'll be back in 7 minutes. Okay, we're about a minute away. I know it sounds tough, and actually I want to show you this because I want you to see how that has absolutely come off completely off the sides of the bowl. There's nothing on the side of that bowl. So it will come off clean because it's dough and it's ready, and as a matter of fact, it is ready. So that timer's going to go off in just a second. So what I want you to do is have a bowl ready, and then you're going to put, oh, I don't know, maybe 2 tablespoons of white oil in here. Take a paper towel and get in all the crevices and go all the way up the sides with it. Okay, you're done. You're done. That's enough. All the way up the sides. And see, it is done. It's official. The timer went off. And let me turn that off so it doesn't drive us crazy. Stop. And so what we're going to do is just simply take it out of here. And I want to show you when we take this dough hook off. Take this out. This will come right out of here. Look at this. Watch. Clean as whistle, because that dough is ready. So all we're going to do is So we're going to take it out of here. A big old piece of dough, and it hasn't even risen yet. And I just fold it under. It's just because I like it to be pretty in the bowl. Don't ask me why. So it looks like that. I'm going to drop it in the bowl. There it is. And then I'm going to take my nice damp towel and I'm going to cover it. And I'm going to let it rest in here with a damp towel. Now, at this point in time, seriously, you can take this with a damp towel on it and put it in the refrigerator. And you can pull from this thing for a week. You know, you can pinch off enough to make a couple of biscuits for, or, you know, rolls for a night or whatever. Now, when you pinch it off out of the refrigerator, you have to let it rise again in whatever container you're going to. However, that's not what we're doing. We're making bundt bread for my bundt sandwiches. So I'm going to show you, at this point in time, I'm going to show you the risen bread. So this is gonna rise for about an hour and a half. So hold on one second, and I'll be back. Okay, so actually, to tell you the truth, this is the third attempt I've made at making a all-in-one bread video for y'all. I tried yesterday and I had phone call interruptions. I tried this morning and I completely lost my complete train of thought. So I have made one of these already this morning for you. So this one is actually already proofed. So if you'll notice, it is a different color bowl than what I have. The other's over there proofing. This is already been proofed. I made it this morning and I've already punched it down. As you can see, let all the air out, just literally punch it down. And now it is a beautiful dough. Look at that. It's beautiful and it smells fabulous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out. Remember, we oiled the bowl so it wouldn't stick. I'm going to take it out onto I happen to have a baking mat, but you can take it out onto a cutting board or onto your breadboard or whatever you happen to have. I'm losing space here. And as I had mentioned to you, I'm doing a lunch. And so, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my hands all, and so I'm making what's called a buntwich, and what it is it's bread made in a bundt pan, and I will show you the finished product because I have some. And you can do this by buying French bread, Pillsbury French bread in a tube. I went to 3 stores yesterday. They did not have it. So I said, well, that ain't no big deal. I can figure out, I know how to make bread, so here we are. And one of these days I'll get all of my things in one spot. Here it is. Sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, of course, spray this. Now, if I was making a loaf, which I will have enough to make a loaf, I would put parchment in it, but obviously parchment in here would be a little different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Graham Care. I mean, this was my mom, so, I mean, remember him, the Galloping Gourmet? And I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to cut it kind of weird, because I want to make it into, and I'm going to be seriously big enough. I want to make it into 2 logs to put in there. Because, well, I don't know, maybe I can get one to go all the way around. Because I was going to cut it in half, and then, because that's what I did with the other ones, and put half in my pan, half this way, and then half this way, and then pinch them together. But this one decided to come out actually kind of nice, and I'm just shaping it into a nice long log, if you can see that, because I just want to wrap it around the bundt. And this is going to go in here. I'm going to put the cloth back over it, a damp cloth back over it, and let it proof again. So here we go. It's going to work. That's awesome. Learn something new every day. I do. So now, I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm pinching the ends together. And and there you go. That's it. So with the rest of this dough, let me draw my hands up a second. Here's my loaf pan. Spray it. And parchment, just because it makes it easy to lift it out and down. And when I do this, I just kind of want to fold it over. You know, I'm making a loaf out of it, so I want to make it pretty so that that's what the top looks like. Now, it will be this times 3 after it proofs. And you know, if you've got any holes in the bottom, just kind of pinch them closed. But that's what I want my top to look like. Just fold it over, ta-da, and it's going to go in the pan. Now I want you to take note of what the size of these pans are and what they look like, right? I mean, that looks kind of dinky in there, and that's kind of dinky in there. Well, we'll see it in about an hour and a half. So hold on, I'll be right back because I'll show you a finished product. I already have one. I'll be right back. Okay, and now to final product. Is that not beautiful? I put some poppy seeds on the top of it. Isn't that pretty? And then I got 2 of these and 1 of these. But to take to church, I have 4 of these. So I'm gonna cut this in half, about right here. And I'm gonna probably scoop a little bit of the breadiness out because I'm making a sandwich. I'm making a shredded barbecue sandwich with provolone cheese and honey mustard on this one. And then I'm making a shredded chicken ranch bacon with lettuce, tomato, and of course ranch dressing. And then I am making a ham and Swiss with fresh strawberry, believe it or not, strawberry jam, mustard and mayonnaise, and lettuce and tomato. And then I'm making a ham and cheddar. So they're going to be beautiful, and they're going to be very tasty too. So I did it. I did a whole bread video in one video. It might be long, it might be goofy, but at least it's in one place. So I hope you try it, and have a great day. I think I'll probably be back to show you how to make my mom's barbecue sauce. See you later. Bye.